Hey everybody, we are excited to have Karen Neorr here tonight. Can I see the last name right here?
Yes, thank you. I'm going to drop 3 off. I don't have a ton.
And she's going to teach us about how that relates to our real estate journey.
Would you pass these? Yes. I don't have one, I think, for everybody, if you wouldn't mind sharing. Yes, sorry, thank you. So I have this checklist that I use with all my clients. This kind of outlines the concept that I teach. I'll introduce myself too, but I didn't print enough. I had no idea that there would be so many people here tonight. So if you're here with yeah, thank you. This is exciting. If you're here with family members, you're going to have to share if you're sharing kind of family. So yes, my name is Karen Neorr, and it's pronounced Neorr. Just ignore the E. And now I get to do my introduction. So I will tell you all about what I do and how I can help you and how you can help me. I wear 2 hats, and I'm going to talk about the first business that I run first is not what I'm going to talk about today, but I just want you to know because you might find it useful. I have a private consulting business where I am a consultant. I'm a certified right-of-way agent, and I worked 3 years for Kootenai Electric Cooperative, and I worked, well, now it's going on 15 years for the state of Idaho in easement acquisition, and I was a real estate specialist for Kootenai Electric Cooperative, and I was a conservation easement program manager for the Idaho Department of Lands. And I still consult with them. But I am, as a right-of-way agent, I am highly qualified and have a lot of experience in title issues, so I will be talking to Caitlin about a project that they're working on. But I've done, that is my superpower. And I know it's the dorkiest superpower in the world, is I can read a legal description like a computer, and I can do chain of title reviews. And if you guys ever have any needs when it comes to property title and you're not getting answers from your title company, please come talk to me. I'd love to talk to you about it. So anyways, if I can help you in that area, please let me know. What I'm going to talk to you about today is what I do as a money coach, and this is something I've been doing since 2019, and today I'm really going to talk to you about how I came to be a money coach, why I'm a money coach, why I'm really passionate about personal finance. As a money coach, and I thought the quotes that Tyler put up today were just perfect because I coach on the concept of financial freedom. I think it's this holistic framework, this holistic construct that I teach, because it's all super related, like retirement, taxes, budgeting, all that stuff. You really have to think about all of those areas of your finance if you're going to be successful with finance, in my opinion. So as a money coach, I work one-on-one with clients, and I teach workshops, and I help my clients be confident and comfortable with money so they can gain financial freedom. And I think with financial freedom, you can live a life on purpose. And that's why Tyler's quotes at the beginning of today, and I actually can't remember exactly what they were, but when he was talking about wealth, it's not always about money. And that's going to be part of my story today, is I have never made a lot of money. You wouldn't ever look at my tax return and be like, this person is wildly financially successful. I think I'm wildly financially successful. So I just want to share that with you today. And so how I think I can help you, and maybe I can help your clients with strengthening your financial foundation. So I'll tell you all about how I do that. But first, I kind of wanted to start with just kind of where this fits into the whole scheme of things, right? Financial wellness is a really important part of our lives. And I think it's an area of our lives, like I wanted to show you this wellness wheel, right? Because these are all the areas of our life that really impact our overall well-being, right? Spiritual, family, financial, environmental, physical, mental. So these are all the areas that really are impacting our overall well-being. And I think financial is an area that is frequently out of balance with a lot of people. And so that's the space that I work. And when you're out of balance in any one of these areas, it affects all the other areas of your life. So how many people here, raise your hand if you've had stress over money in this last year, right? Almost all of you hopefully are raising your hands. I was thinking like, God, should I ask that question? I was like, well, yeah, everyone has stress over money. But just think about like, and I'll talk in detail more about my concept of financial freedom. But if you can improve this area of your life, just think about how does that impact your spiritual well-being. You can give more to your church. You can spend more time with your family. You can have job stability. You can have job choice. So it's really important to actually pay attention to this area of your life. And I want to make sure that my clients have a strong financial foundation in all the areas of finance. So I will talk about what that looks like. So hopefully most of you have this checklist. So I created this checklist. I call it the Financial Freedom Checklist. And I really kind of created it from what I've learned as I've become a financial coach in my training, in my personal life, and through the clients that I work with. And I want to introduce to you my idea of what I think financial freedom is. And I'm going to compare that to financial independence, because to me, they're not the same thing. So financial freedom, and the definition is on the top of this checklist. It's when you have clarity around what you want to accomplish in your life. It's having confidence so that you trust your money decisions. And then it's creating a plan or a strategy so that you can get relief from stress and worry. So I think that's what financial freedom is. And if you have those things, I think you can live your life on purpose. It gives you a lot more choice. Now, I just wanted to compare that really quick to financial independence, because like I said, I don't think they're the same thing. I think you can have financial freedom today. I think you can have it tomorrow. I think you can have it if you have debt. I think you can have it if you have a mortgage. Financial independence, on the other hand, is when work is work is an option, not an obligation. So it's kind of that traditional like retirement model. We're all working to make enough money so that we don't have to work anymore. Well, you can have financial freedom. You can you're still going to have some stress related to money, but really give you some peace of mind and some flexibility in your life if you can implement a strong financial foundation. So I'm going to start with my story. You guys recognize this picture? So this is lovely Sandpoint, and we moved here. My family moved here in 2010. Or 2011, excuse me. And at that time, we both worked for the state of Idaho. And I'm going to tell you my story. And we both worked for the state of Idaho through this entire story. So again, just, we were never really rolling in the dough. But in 2011, when we moved to Sandpoint, our combined income was $76,000. And we moved here with our son, William. He was 1 year old. And for reasons I know I don't have to explain to you guys, when we came into Sandpoint, we were like, this is home. We're going to make this our home. This is where we want to raise our son. There he is right there. So we love it here. And it was at that same time that some coworkers of mine invited me to a personal finance conference in Coeur d'Alene. It was called Smart Women, Smart Money. And I want to bring that back. It was in Coeur d'Alene. They don't have that conference anymore, but I want to bring it back because it literally changed my life. So when I went to that conference, one of the seminars that I went to, you had to write down your debts. So we had to write down what all of our debts were. And I had never in my life seen it all in one place. And we were $65,000 in debt. And it was really shocking to me because I knew we had a couple car loans. I knew we had a credit card loan, and I knew we had some student loans, but I didn't know that it equaled $65,000. And at the time, one of the biggest stressors in our lives was that we wanted to buy a house. We moved to Sandpoint, and this was our dream place. This is where we want to raise our son, but we couldn't buy a house. We fought over money, the story. So I made a goal at the conference. I said, I'm paying off the credit card. That's the thing that was like stressing us out the most, because we kept going, we're going to pay it off at the end of the month. We're going to pay it off. We're going to pay it off. And then all of a sudden it was maxed out. So I said, we're paying off the credit card. And that kind of began our journey to financial freedom. And I want to say that probably took 10 years. So we paid off the debt. It took us about 6 years. And during that time, I was really kind of looking for help, like who can help us get through this, this time in our lives, right? We want to buy a house. How are we going to get there? And nobody was really there to help us. So we basically kind of DIY'd it, and it was kind of a bumpy road. But I really, truly wish there was somebody like me to help me figure out, like, you can buy a house. You don't have to wait. You don't have to do this. You don't have to do, there's not just one way to pay off debt. So, of course, I found Dave Ramsey, who I fell in love with and worshiped at the ground he walked on. And honestly, I don't really feel that way anymore. But, we had the $1,000 emergency fund. We did the snowball method. We ate beans and rice. But we did eventually get out of debt. But during the process, I loved learning about personal finance. And it was super empowering to be like, okay, this is what I have to do. I can do this. And so it felt really good. But during that time, one thing that did happen was we got divorced. So I then became a single mom in Sandpoint and had to afford real estate in Sandpoint. And I tell that story because when I got divorced, my income was $40,000 and I needed to find a place to live. So I did. I remained out of debt and I was able to buy my home a year later. So now I'm a homeowner in Sandpoint, and I'm incredibly proud of myself that I'm still out of debt. I own a home, and I feel like by implementing these financial principles, I've been able to create financial freedom in my life, and I know that I'm creating a legacy for my son. And so these are the lessons that I bring to my clients. I am living my life on purpose. I don't have millions of dollars of real estate. I don't have, a giant net worth, but I have a pretty nice net worth, and I'm pretty damn proud of it. So I want to bring that financial freedom, those concepts to my clients. And I love coming to groups like this because you guys learned those lessons. Some of them are we've all been through the school of hard knocks. So you guys have learned those lessons about, those big financial lessons, how to deal with debt, how not to deal with debt, stuff like that. So I believe that anybody really can do it. And I call it really living your life on purpose. You have to put a plan in place. And so that's what I do with my clients. So I just want to talk really quickly about how I do that with my clients. And I think some of these things, like I said, I feel like some of you might have clients, might have people that are struggling with some of the issues that I'm going to talk about. I help a lot of people with getting out of debt and improving their credit health. I mean, that is a huge area where people need a lot of help. But it's a little bit out of order from what's on this sheet. But these are the concepts that I go over with all of my clients. And the first one is what is your why? What is your purpose? I think that is the biggest piece that is missing when people are like, I don't want to do my budget. I don't want to, it's too hard. I work too hard. I'm tired when I get home. I have too many kids or whatever. So, but what can be really important is really kind of digging down into that thing that really lights you up. So I want you guys to think about it what are you willing to sacrifice for? What are you willing to work really hard for? What lights you up? What makes you incredibly happy? Anybody think of anything? Family? Yeah? Anything else? I didn't hear. Travel. Awesome. Thank you. So I like to get my clients to really dig down deep and be like, why is this important to you? What is important to you? And let's use that as our fuel to do the stuff that sucks. Because it's not easy. It's not all hearts and rainbows. You have to make hard decisions when it comes to money. One thing that I tell my clients all the time is you can have anything you want. You just can't have everything. So you really have to decide what you want for your life and why it's important to you. Monthly money plan. This is kind of synonymous to a budget. I like to call it a money plan because everyone hates the word budget. But But you need to have some sort of idea of where your money's coming from, how much is coming in, and where is it going to go. A lot of people are really stressed out with finances, but they really have no idea where their money's going. And they really don't even know where their money's coming from or why. Mm-hmm.
For your monthly money plan, do you have your own?
Well, I do because, so when we were doing the Dave Ramsey thing, I did the every dollar budget. Yeah, and I really liked it, and I've done YNAB before. I've done Mint before. Mint, but Mint, yeah, Mint is. I've heard of Rocket Money. I just started using Monarch Money. I like it, and they have an advisor platform, so I can add my clients to my plan, and I can see their budgets. I can build their budgets for them, and so I pay for their subscription. So I like Monarch Money, but there's a ton of apps out there. I don't really care how you do it. I have my own spreadsheet that I create. I actually love the spreadsheet because you can customize it any way you want. So I kind of like that. So at the end of today, I'm going to tell you I have a YouTube channel and I have a better budgeting webinar, so which I would encourage you to watch. But I kind of have a process for budgeting, and I break it up into 3 different things: fixed expenses, savings buckets, and I call them envelopes. I don't mean like literally envelopes, although envelopes are fantastic, but there's ways you can envelope electronically. Yeah. So I'll tell you about that at the end of this, how you can do that. So monthly money plan is super important. And kind of that goes along with it is the financial awareness. So of course, one of the first things my clients do is list all their income, list all their expenses. I really want them to have an idea of how they spend money throughout the year also, because I don't know about you, but October, November, and December are killers. Visiting your in-laws is an expense I wish that I didn't have to spend, but sometimes you have to. But it can be very expensive, like one time a year. Did I say I was divorced? Actually, well, I won't even go there. So, but another part of financial awareness is just knowing your net worth. I mean, so many people actually really don't know their net worth. So it's just a really good number to understand and track it over time. So I have a calendar reminder every 6 months. I fill in my net worth on my spreadsheet. Being prepared. How many people have had a financial emergency that's over $500? Unexpected expense, right? Yeah. And this, right, exactly. But like, be prepared, have an emergency fund, know what's going to happen when some expense comes up that you don't have the money set aside for. That's what the emergency fund is for. So I always just say, don't let an emergency be a financial emergency. Setting and prioritize goals is huge. I do goal setting. I have a goal setting. It's on my webinar, the Financial Freedom video series. There's a goal setting YouTube video, and I have it calendarized too. So I'm constantly checking in on myself. How am I doing on my goals, etc. Debt and credit is huge. So I was talking with Blake. We were talking about mortgage rates, and 1% change in your mortgage rate is huge. It can be over $100,000 in this interest rate market. So I want to make sure that my clients have the best freaking credit score that they can get, because it's going to be huge. I've had a couple clients come to me and they're like, our car just ate you know what, and our credit score is 620, and we can't get a loan. And so I don't want my clients to be in those situations. I think credit health is incredibly important, and I love the idea of leveraging debt. A lot of people use this term incorrectly. Oh, I'm leveraging debt, but they're not paying off their credit card bills, okay? Maybe they flew on a really cool trip, but how much are they spending on interest in the back end? So really trying to understand those concepts with my clients, and making sure that their debt and credit health is healthy. Some of the softer stuff, core values, making sure that they're spending money, what's really truly important to them. So do they want to be generous? Is their family important to them? Are they putting their money where their mouth is, kind of? So we work that into their money plan. Money beliefs. So how many people have heard money doesn't grow on trees? Rich people are greedy. There's never enough, right? Anyone know any other? Filthy rich. I can't afford it. That's a really good one. Tyler was talking about that on Monday. Actually, there were some people in the class that were like, we just can't afford it. And it's like, how do you know you can't afford it? Let's talk about it. And he had a great answer for that. It's like, it's house hacking, you know? Yeah. So I do a money scripts assessment with my clients to really dig down deep in like what really is preventing them from doing some of the things they say they really want to do. I am not a financial advisor. I'm not an accountant. I'm not an attorney. I'm not an insurance broker, but I definitely talk about these things with my clients because people are afraid to go see those people because they're expensive. They're expensive and I don't trust them, yada, yada, yada. So I can talk about this. So I am a accredited financial counselor candidate. I'm working towards my designation. But as part of my training, I have a significant amount of training in all these areas of finance. So I can talk to them about what is a 401k, what is an IRA, what do you want your retirement to look like? How old do you want to be when you retire? Where do you want to be when you retire? So that and then I can help them if they want to go talk to a financial advisor, I can help them figure out what works for them. It is kind of scary to find a financial advisor. So I can help my clients be prepared for those types of conversations. Legacy and risk. So a lot of people don't want to go see an attorney to spend the $1,000 to $3,000 it will cost to put an estate plan in place. But just think about, so we talk about like, what does that look like for your family if you don't? What does that look like for your estate if you don't? Same with insurance. So I go over like the primary insurance needs that people need: disability, life, auto, health, home. And I see if they have it. First of all, very few people have all of those things. I have a client who is a single mom with 6 kids and does not have life insurance, and neither does her ex. And I said, you need to get life insurance for you and your ex. And so I do an assessment with my clients on all those areas because losing money is the same as gaining money. Any questions about that? So it's a lot. I work with my clients and I sit down with them one time, and then and then if they continue to want to work with me, then we'll work together for 4 to 6 months, and maybe even longer than that. So it does take a long time to implement these things, but I think it's really important to focus on all these areas. This is one of my favorite quotes. So I truly think that the consequences that you see in your life are a result of the actions that you take or don't take. And I really want my clients to live it on purpose. Decide what you want for your life. And so this is like something we talk about. Let's design your life. Let's put a plan in place so that you can have the house of your dreams, so that you can take care of your family. And that's really important to me. That's all I had for you guys. So this QR code, I believe, takes you to my website. There's my website address, and I have a Facebook page. If you go to my website, you can get access to the Financial Freedom video series. And right now there's about 7 videos, and they kind of follow these concepts here. And there's tons of free downloads, so you get all the worksheets that I share with my clients for each, that goes along with each of the videos. I think they're fine.
Do you ever encounter, it's like a one-time deal, right? Do you ever encounter it's a mathematical solution?
So when I work with my clients on debt consolidation or even debt management plans or home equity, like HELOCs or home equity loans, stuff like that, I'm not necessarily opposed to any of those things. I think they're very, very useful tools that can really help somebody get out of a bad situation. Usually what I recommend is we gotta fix the foundational problem first. So we gotta make sure that you can stop accumulating debt, because if you don't, it's gonna be a bigger mess on the back end. So I really work with them on the money plan and on kind of like the money beliefs to get some of this stuff implemented, because it's kind of hard to, sometimes it's just hard for people to eat out less and save money. It's not always about eating out less, by the way, but.
Will you say more about her well-paid affair with Dave Ramsey?
Oh. So Dave Ramsey, so he was definitely one of my, I learned about financial coaching from Dave Ramsey because I followed him religiously. So I always listen to his podcast. I have all of his books. And we followed his baby steps. But I don't necessarily subscribe to his belief about debt and credit health. I think you should have good credit health. I mean, it affects our insurance rates and it affects our ability to get rentals if we're renting real estate. It can affect us being able to get a job. So I think it's really important that we take care of that. And I also think he's a jerk. I'm just going to say it out loud. He's kind of rude. And he's cocky. And I follow this, I have to tell you this story. So I follow this financial coach on Facebook, and they were testing some of his theories. And so one of his things that they tested was the Dave Ramsey tax software. So they did it this year, and they did the Dave Ramsey tax software, and their tax refund was $2,200. And they did TurboTax, and their tax refund was like $6,000 something. And then they went to a accountant, and their tax refund was around the same. It was a little bit different, but it was around the $6,000 level. So they posted their study on Facebook. It was quite interesting. He's a good salesman. He's definitely a good salesman. So, yeah. Any other questions?
What stage of life are you most interested in working with? Somebody who's retired, almost retired, just getting started with their first child,
Yeah. Well, I like to work with people like in their 30s and 40s. So I work with a lot of people who are, it's maybe not too late, but they've gotten into a pickle. So I love to help people get out of, I like to help people that were in the situation we were in. So I like to help couples, and I like to help single women deal with debt and restructure their finances so that it can change the trajectory of their life.
So you're saying there's a chance.
You reminded me, I was going to say something, but oh, well, one thing that I left out, which was kind of an important part of my story. So, the concept of living your life on purpose, like, really speaks to me because I was able to do it. I was able to quit my job a year ago, and honestly, I really relied on my emergency fund but I knew that I had to build up this giant nest egg so that I could be my own boss. And it's been the best thing I ever did, was going out on my own. I worked my ass off before I quit the job, because I was basically doing two businesses. But I'm able to live my life on purpose because I was able to implement all of these strategies, and that's what I help my clients do.
When you work with couples, how often do you find one of them is very on board and the other one is not going along with it?
Well, couples, it's not uncommon that, opposites attract, right? So it's not uncommon that there's one person that manages the money. I haven't had to work with couples that are fighting over money, which I don't think I would want. I don't know. I haven't had that situation yet. That would make me very nervous. So I've had couples that both are there on their own volition and want to work on their finances. And usually it still ends up being like they'll have a budget meeting or a money meeting every once in a while. But the majority of the work, if you will, is one of them, you know. But that's been like, so I'm thinking of one couple in particular. That's a huge change in their life because the husband was completely checked out. And the wife was feeling super overwhelmed because there was a lot of overwhelming issues that she was dealing with. And now they're really supportive and they're on the same page, but she still does the bulk of the work, but they do have meetings to talk about kind of the issues that they're working on. So, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, one of the things that, so, yes, I have an opinion. I think generally speaking, now this is generally speaking, term insurance is what most people need. But that said, I'm not an insurance broker. So what I do is I just try to talk to clients about what their situation is like, and then I refer them to a trusted insurance broker. And I do tell them about different like payment models for insurance. So they kind of have, I think that's what a lot of people have distrust with financial professionals about, is because they just really don't know how they get paid. And it really makes them nervous, right? So just kind of understanding what all the different products are and how insurance brokers are getting paid, and just making sure they are knowledgeable about it when they go speak to a professional or go seek their own, you know, trying to get their own insurance. So, yeah.
Hi, my only retirement plan is buying rental properties.
Well, I'm not a financial advisor. I would tell you that. So I can't give you any advice on how you invest your money. But I would just, I mean, I really do, like with every client, I look at the whole picture. So what's your goal for 5 years? What's your goal for 10 years? What's your goal for 20 years? What's your goal for your family? And making sure that whatever plan you have in place for your family, if I felt comfortable advising you on that, and I might not feel comfortable in that situation, then we would just talk about, like, is that the right plan for you? Yeah. I haven't had any clients that have that situation or that are making money from rental income. So probably would refer you somewhere else. But we could talk about what's your plan. That's what I really like to do, is discover what's your plan, what's your purpose, what are you trying to do? Can you accomplish it? How can you accomplish it? Yeah. I have no idea what time it is, by the way.
Good.
Okay.
Anything else? Well, thank you, Karen, for being here. Our goal is to kind of just bring you value, because it's money to invest in real estate, right? And I know I have struggled to acquire the resources so that then I can invest, right? You got to have resources before you can invest. So that was our goal, to kind of help you think about ways you can do that. Anyway, next month we are. I'm gonna put this out to the group. Would you like to hear about how to find deals, like real estate deals out there, how to find them, or would you like to hear about what was the other thing I came up with? Yeah, sorry. I was writing down ideas.
Do you want to hear about, do you want to hear from maybe a home builder or developer, or do you want to maybe talk about lending from your IRA and house stacking?
We've got, let me say this, we were just writing down brainstorming ideas of what we want to talk about next month. Give me some feedback on what you guys want to hear more about in months to come. How about that? Is that a fair question? Yeah, Emily.
I want to hear from you for investing in real estate. What are they doing? Field case studies.
Case studies.
No. What went well? What went bad?
My favorite topic.
Deals gone wrong.
Deals gone wrong. Yeah, our favorite topics over the years have always been those investors that come here and be like, this is how I screwed up, and this is what I did, and we learned from that, or maybe they've been really successful. So case studies. Yeah, thank you, Emma. Sorry.
Oh, I was just gonna say that deal's gone wrong. We've seen that before in Seattle.
Where they had like 10 people
Lined up.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Still, my all-time favorite meetup is when Jacob Marble came here and was like, "This is how it cost $80,000." And the table is
This is $40,000 for 24 hours.
Yeah, yeah.
The creative finance down in Coeur d'Alene, like a couple months ago.
At the Coeur d'Alene meetup.
Nick.
Oh, do you do that? Okay.
That was a really good one.
Was.
So it doesn't have to be the same one.
One of the everybody wants to talk creative financing, and that's always a big topic. And I know we want to share a story about how to use your IRA for investing, so we'll probably bring that next month as part of it. Anything else you guys want to hear about? These are great ideas. Hey, investing in multifamily. Yep. By the way, you came in late. Would you care to just say hi real quick? We always introduce ourselves and tell us who we are and kind of what we're looking for, how the group can help us, and what you do for the group.
Okay, so my name is Andrew. Been here for about 5 years.
You're a home builder too, right?
Yeah.
So that's nice to have someone here as a resource. So first time here, we welcome you. Other than that, thanks for being here. Thank Laughing Dog for hosting us. Make sure you pay your tab on the way out. We always have to make that reminder because somebody usually forgets. And hang out for a little bit. We got a few minutes. One more thing, Kyle, close us out.
I really like that you kept it short. So I want more of that.
Okay.
Yeah, I appreciate that too. We can like network and not be like so exhausted that you're.
I appreciate that.
So I like that she was like.
That was great. Let me say that. Cool. Hang out for a few. And we'll see you next month, second Thursday here at Laughing Dog Brewing, 6 o'clock. Woo! Kill that thing, Kobe.